Welcome everybody, welcome to the stream. My name is Jose. I am a Golden in Kendo, and today we're gonna be talking about Kendo and watching Kendo videos together. So thank you very much for passing by. Let me know how you do in the comments and how was your practices this week. And make sure that everything is good. Cloudy, the animation, thank you for passing by. Welcome to the stream. And Shen, thank you very much for passing by, being the first on the chat. That's awesome. Guys, if you haven't, please take a second to hit the like button so this stream gets pushed out to more people. And also, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. And let me know, do you guys think that my camera looks funny? No, right? This week when I was recording the video that I posted, I lost some footage based on like some weird camera look. But anyways, everything seems good now. Louis, welcome to the stream. Thank you for passing by. And okay, it all looks good. Awesome. So this week I'm a little bit conflicted, or a little bit thinking about what my video will be about. So I have a couple of options. There's a breakdown of a Kashido that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I just been postponing. So maybe I'll work on that. Joshua, voy a decirlo en inglés, voy a hablar en español también. Si se me va mucho el inglés, avísame para también hablar en español. You're saying that you hope that I'm good. Yes, I am great. And greetings from Panama. Thank you very much for passing by. Gracias por pasar por acá, de verdad. Espero por volver pronto a Panamá. Oh, sí, tu sensei está en Japón, correcto. Vi una foto, so that's awesome. Estoy esperando ir pronto para allá también. So I hope I can go to Japan soon. And if anybody's going to be there or is making plans to go, let me know. Maybe we can find some good training practices that we can join together. Anyways, guys, if you haven't, remember that the Kendo Tips channel has a Discord server that you're welcome to pass by and join. It's completely free, and you can meet people all around the world that love Kendo, so that will be a great place to get in contact if you're gonna go visit someplace, and if you want to take a vacation and do Kendo. I think that will be a good contact place. And give me 1 second. Claudia, you said you need help with kote. When you have keiko, you always get hit in the kote and you can't block it. Dani, saludos de España. Un gran saludo de verdad. Gracias por pasar por el canal. Okay, you know what? Let me ask you, Claudia, do you get hit while you're standing, or do you get hit when you attack? That's the first question I'm gonna ask. Claudia está diciendo que a ella, no sé, disculpa, que le pega mucho en el cote y no lo puede bloquear. Y le estoy preguntando que cómo le pegan, cuando está parada o cuando está, o sea, en movimiento. When you attack, okay, it's a couple of things. First, if you don't mind me asking, what rank are you? And normally, what ends up happening is the moment of engagement of the hands. Let me see if I can put the camera. Something you can try. Let me see, maybe you guys can see it here. So a lot of times, maybe for now I'm gonna put the camera a little bit lower. Maybe I can just put the microphone farther. Let me see, hold on. I'm just gonna have to like reach over to like touch things in the desk. So anyways, a lot of times when I have a couple of students that I can hit the kote consistently, and I hit it just to let them know that they're doing this wrong. And one of them is that they get too close before they throw the hands. And they try to come in to get comfortable in order for them to attack the man. That by the time that they feel comfortable is way too close for me to hit the kote. So one thing that I tell them to do specifically, and again, I haven't seen a video of yours. It will be awesome if you send me one. But if you attack and you wait too long to engage your hands, then the angle of your arm ends up being perfect for them to hit the kote, or easier for them to hit the kote. So one thing you want to do is that, hold on, let me get this thing. So one thing that you want to do is that instead of waiting so long to then engage the hands, is that you want to approach, and then as you engage the legs, also engage your hands. That's one thing you can do. And again, I'm being a little bit general because I don't know specifically what the issue is. The other one might be that you're trying to compensate for the sword being in the middle, so you end up lifting too much as you close the distance. So by that time, the opponent can hit you. It's hard to do this without a person in front, right? But maybe you're lifting too much the tip to get over your opponent's shinai. So by the time that you're still closing the distance before you throw the attack, you get hit. So one way of doing the kote, you know what, in today's video, in today's videos that we watch, I'll be looking for that to see if I can show you what I mean. But I try to avoid as much as possible lifting as I close the distance to come in. The idea for me is to have a little bit of tension here to feel my opponent's shinai. Then I try to lift as close as I can to my opponent's shinai to then come on top of the shinai rather than come from below. So that being said, it could also be the fact that you're hitting your hand with your hands down rather than forward. So it's a little bit of a, I'll keep an eye on kote today. So yeah, it could be like Rice is saying, it could be a lot of different reasons. So if you want, you can send me a link to one of your videos. Like if you can record yourself, just how you do kote, and then maybe how you get hit on the kote. I can actually give you a little bit better. But ideally, like on basic kote, what you want to do is you want to engage your hands and shoot your hands forward, because many people tend to do this before the kote. So you want to shoot your hands forward, because as you do that, also it's harder for your opponent to hit the kote since your arm gets behind your shinai. So again, yeah, it could be a lot of reasons. Your timing, leg engagement, a couple of things that could happen. So yeah, send me a video if you can. Shen, you said don't use small men, use big men, so it mess up with their kote timing. Yeah, but it can also mess up with you a lot. Like you want to have, I don't think the answer to not get hit is just to not do something. You want to learn how to do it differently. You don't have to call me Sensei, Cloudy. Just Jose is fine. Thank you though. Okay, so Rice, you were saying maybe you're telegraphing your movement, making it easy to read. Definitely share a video on Discord, and the Kendo Tips family can give you constructive criticism. Yeah, facts. Yeah, and that's one of the things that I love about the Discord. Everybody's being so nice and how they share information. So I'm very happy. So you can do that in the Discord. You can send it to me as well, and we'll try our best. But also bring this up to your sensei, or maybe not even to your sensei only, but also to the person that you're practicing with. And when they hit you, just ask them like, what did you see, or what gave you the idea to go for my kote? So this is something that you can get like instant feedback, and probably that person, if they're experienced enough, they will tell you like, oh, this is happening before you attack, or this is happening during your attack. And then yeah, but yeah, please just, I guess talking will be the best advice. Okay, guys. K, instead of striking men, think about striking tsuki, and at the last moment, strike men. Okay. So I understand what you're saying, to trying to keep the. Oh yeah, sorry, and this is something, Cloudy. This is something that I didn't put into consideration. That. Is there any specific technique that you're getting hit the kote on? Because I was assuming at some point that you were going for kote and they get your kote, or sometimes when you're going for men. So yeah, that's another good point. Yes, I wasn't clear. I was thinking about both, and I guess I didn't say that out loud. But yeah, it's also, if it's for men, a lot of times that happens as well. That people tend to lift the sword before they go in for the men. And that could also be an opening for you. So yeah, what Kay's saying, it's a good way of visualizing it. Anyways, and if it works for you, awesome. For me, I tend to stay away from. I tend to avoid giving this specific advice because I don't want people to like tense down to then tense up. For some reason, like I guess when I say things, people overcomplicate things. So, but yeah, but definitely good advice. Um, cool, thank you, guys. And again, like this is what this is all about, so we can discuss all this stuff. And yeah, you guys are welcome to do so, to bring some of the questions anytime. Anyway, guys, last stream we used the videos from the SBS Cup Kendo King Championship. So I want to go on to like the finals that they have from this championship. It was very interesting. It was a Korean tournament, and there's a couple of things that happened that were pretty cool to watch. So hopefully we can learn some more with these videos. One thing, and this is not to do with the fight that is about to happen, but I watched a little bit of the fight before, of the people before. I think they were younger Kenshi. And I want to show you guys something interesting that happens often. Yes, guys, this is your video, right? Okay. I think these are not young Kenshis, but they're definitely on the younger side. And I don't know what dan they are. Guys, if you know, please let me know at this point. But I'm going to say this. They're very physical, right? So they're very fast. And when you're fighting someone like this, if you are at this distance and you're not prepared, you're in a very bad position. That being said, getting into this distance makes things very sloppy. So let me see, you guys. Can you guys hear it? Well, when I play it, let me know. So, oh, I managed to land the part where they met an Ippon. Let's watch that Ippon real quick. That was cool. So, let's see. I love the intention forward that blue, or I guess red in this case, had. That it's so strong, so sharp, and so quick. As you saw, white came in with this weird approach to try to get a reaction, but then stopped. And this is what I think happens at this level of fighting, where they're using the physicality and reactions much more than using technique to create openings. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just want you to understand, I guess, I want you to start seeing how there's many things that we can do to create an opening. It's not just about the pressure of jumping forward, or trying to just get a feint and make an opening, but also there are more things that you can do to start getting an opening, and you need to like break these things down. So this is very interesting. Luis, Galaxy, Ohio, welcome. Good morning. Thank you for passing by. It's almost not morning anymore though, but yeah, good. Thank you for passing by. Luis, thank you very much for this interesting blog. Really look forward to this. You're a good friend. Thank you very much, Luis. You're very supportive. I really appreciate it. Gas using white was 27 years old and red 28. They're 4 dan. So it's very athletic, right? It's very athletic. What I'm surprised, not on this exchange, because this exchange wasn't that close. But if you notice, part of the fight is very close. They're very close to each other. Let me make sure that I actually looked at the right fight. I think it is. Yeah, you see, like at this point, they're coming in, and this happened a lot throughout the fight, where like both of them, they get so close, and at this point, it's very little you can do to actually. There's very fewer options that you get, unless you have like a forward momentum towards the opponent. So it becomes a very dangerous place to be if you're constantly getting there without like a plan before. I don't know if that makes sense. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is that be mindful of your distance. You can also use your kamae to play around with the distance. There's a couple of things. Actually, I was talking to a friend of mine this week about distance and kamae, and watch something real quick. When you have normally, how do you like to have your kamae? You have like to have your kamae down to the tsuki. I mean, to tsukidare, or like the eyes. Where's your kamae? And the interesting part about it is that by shifting the angle, you can also kind of get closer or farther just by a little bit. And then you can also use your hands slightly forward and closer to also start making the distance a little bit different. I think this is extremely useful, especially when fighting against Jodan players, because by bringing the tip up, you're putting the tip closer to you, so you're gonna have to come a little bit closer for them to actually, for the tip to be closer to them, right? So some people, especially if they're not very experienced, when you do that, when you lift the tip a little bit, it's kind of you taking the pressure away from them, but you're closing the distance because your body's gonna be closer. So ultimately, you're gonna have more reach. Same thing as bringing your hands closer to your body. Then you do a little bit extra of that. I don't know if that makes sense. That's a lot. I don't want to confuse people, especially like like if you're like in the Q levels. I think it might be a lot of information to do out on top of your basics, but uh, I guess it's also a good tool to start being aware of because people can do it against you as well, right? Anyways, that's what I wanted to show on that part. Let me go to the fight that actually I wanted to start from, and were some of the finals. Let me see. I believe that this is the final. Okay, yeah, and again, these are really young Kendoka, right, or Kenshi.
유재인 선수는 포천 검도관에서 검도를 수련하는군요. 주특기는 손목입니다. 윤찬희 선수는 진성 검도관에서 수련하고 있고 주특기는
Shen, you're saying you change your kamae by bringing your hand closer to your do. Sometimes pressed against do when you're creeping forward slowly. Works for people who use shinai to measure distance. You pressure your shinai towards the do. I don't know if that's a good thing though. I wouldn't recommend that. First of all, because you don't have that much mobility, I think, unless you change the angle of the tip. So it can become a little bit troublesome, I think. But it'll be interesting to see. Quick thing, guys. This is why it's so important to have your hand in the proper place of your shinai. If you watch Y right now, look what's going to happen. The hand is kind of sideways from the shinai, not on top of the shinai. So when you have the hand on top of the shinai, even when you don't have a full tension in your hand, it's harder for the shinai to come out of your hand. But if it's on the side, then it can escape through the fingers, and that's what happens right now on white. Watch this. He tries to hit, and then you see like it was such an awkward angle. He also tried to pull a lot and push forward, so it made it where like his hand came out of the shinai. Something you definitely want to be careful with.
자, 지금은 네, 유재인 선수의 손목 바로 들어갔네요. 네, 바로 들어갔네요.
Oh, that was an Ippon.
경기는 3분.
Ah, okay. Sorry, I was still talking about the hand in the shinai. Let's see what happened here. So, as you approach your opponent, guys, always make sure that you have engagement of your feet before you get to the kamae. I see this happening over and over and over again, that people, after they go through, they come back all relaxed and they start getting engaged by the time that the shinais touch each other. No. You should be in kamae before. So let's say that you went through and you pass your opponent. Then when you turn around, you want to be on kamae pretty much. Once you pass through, you want to be in kamae immediately after you turn, and you want to approach your opponent with intention of fighting. If you let this go, there are chances that your opponent can actually do something that get you to get. There are chances that your opponent can make you overreact in the sense of you want to try to recover your kamae, and any little thing can make it so your opponent, if they're engaged, they can attack you and actually get a technique on you. And I think this is a little bit of what happens here. See? So they're both kind of coming in relaxed, regardless. I don't think there's one of them that's in advantage of the other. But because of White coming in so relaxed, and you see, Red was setting himself up for kamae, White was still walking in. He decides to just go in blindly, I guess, and Red was engaged and hits a good point. Every time that you are approaching, get in the habit of every time that you turn around after a technique, immediately go into kamae and approach your opponent as if they have a weapon, right? Because they do. So that way, by the time that you actually make contact with the shinai, you're already engaged and you can be attentive of anything that your opponent can do. So, or you can be attentive if there's an opportunity for you to strike.
자, 지금은 네, 유재인 선수의 손목 바로
Oh, sorry, too far.
먼저 한 점 뽑아냈습니다. 유재인.
So now, after getting a point, Red becomes a little bit defensive, and White becomes a little bit like desperate. Now he's attacking more, right?
이 두 선수는 이제 초등학교 들어가기 전부터 수련을 한 것 같아요. 네, 굉장히 오랜 경력이 있습니다. 거의 저 인생의 절반 이상을 지금 수련을 했습니다. 자, 빠르게 움직여보고 있는 윤찬희 선수.
Wow, that was a really cool engagement for Hikiwaza. Watch this. He goes from one side. He goes again to then try to open up for that dough. This is pretty cool. Watch in real time. Hold on, let me go back to this right moment. This is very cool, very cool. Super Serie I is not a moment for you to relax and understand that if you have somebody that's aggressive as White is, you can actually be susceptible to, like, you can fall for the trap of blocking for an attack that wasn't really there. And that's what White is trying to bank on for this moment, I think. Very cool. Discipline, you're saying that it general seems that Kendo, the Korean Kendo is very athletic compared to Japanese Kendo. I don't know. I think it might be a little bit of a interpretation of based on what is sent to the World Championships. I don't know because the more I've been getting videos of Korean Kendo, I'm seeing a lot of like a lot of relationship between the higher levels in Japan and Korea. This is something that maybe I should have a Korean Kenshi and a Japanese Kenshi talk about this, because this is an interesting point, something that I know what you mean. And it was my idea for a while, but the more I've been talking to different people and watching videos from different levels, I don't know what to think about that anymore. Don, thank you very much for passing by. And thank you, by the way, for all the support on the channel. Really appreciate it. Also discipline. These are kids, right? So it's in my experience practicing with kids in Japan, they are as engaged and as active as these two are. So it's that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know, because normally for the World Championship, for what I see is that they sent a lot of young Kenshis as well, and they're definitely very very athletic. Let's talk a second for about Suba Serie, guys. So at this point, white kind of just keeps following red, making it like where it's uncomfortable for him to separate. Um, and one thing that red is doing is that he's trying to find a position to go, right? Like look at the adjustment and the engagement of the feet as he's trying to find an opening. Now, nobody is pushing each other. I've been in so many tournaments and I see this happening so many times in especially low level tournaments where people just want to push each other. I try to avoid pushing. I try to tell people avoid pushing for a couple of reasons. One, because you're gonna get tired, right? It's going to be really easy for red, for example, to just move his body around if white starts pushing. Number two, they can catch your timing, and if they push, then they can use that energy to push themselves off and then get a technique. So this is something that you want to be aware of. You want to also avoid being in this situation where your hands are so close to your body. What I like to do is I try to be a little bit, granted, this is because they're going fast. Red is trying to do it. Red is trying to get his hands out of his chest. But many times I see people just immediately go into that position. You want to avoid that so that way you have mobility into your hands so you can do different techniques. Yes, you're saying that they're 12. Yes, crazy. This is really good. So if you watch here, uh, if you watch in this point here, White kind of keeps his hands to himself, and the instinct for red is to come into this position to push his hands out. This is a good position to be. You want to be in that position so that way you can move your sword around. Right, as you're saying athletic, you will say more aggressive and sometimes not as clean. I say like little samurai champloo for anyone that has watched the show. Japanese kendo is like Jin, and Korean kendo is like Mugen. Listen, if you asked me this, if you told me this like maybe before the last World Championships, I would have said the same. But when I was in Osaka, I went to practice at the Osaka Police, and a couple of times I was lucky enough that they were having like a close tournament with other prefectures, and man, like to tell you that a couple of times some of the engagements looked like they were like shoveling people off the floor, like it was very aggressive, and it something that I didn't really associate it before to Japanese kendo. So this is why I'm saying like I don't know what to think anymore. This is like maybe one is trying to be more like the other or whatever, but all the things that we've seen from the Korean competitors, I saw on those tournaments. They were fighting like bulls, and like it was crazy. So yeah, like I don't know what to think anymore. I need further research. Just needed.
잘 이제 지켜야 되지만 또 반칙은 조심해야 되겠네요. 네. 공격적이지 않으면 반칙.
Okay, please bring back sweeping in kendo. Yeah, but how do you score? Like you also have to have a set of techniques to score people on the ground, right? What if they bring back sweeping and then they bring back sune, and the person on the ground can also hit the sune? That would be actually kind of fun. Okay, this is kind of what I was talking about Kamae before. I don't like the Kamae on red. There's a couple of things, but I understand what he's doing. Or maybe he's not doing it on purpose. let me just tell you, there are some benefits of changing your kamae position. But one thing, when your tip is so high, you end up having to be closer to the opponent. So I guess when you're this close, it can be very aggressive. As a matter of fact, the friend that I was talking to about this was saying that when he engages in this kamae, he's pretty much making it so his opponent can only see kote, right? So then he can deflect or act appropriately, because you're kind of like limiting the options for the opponent. Very interesting concept, and maybe something that we can talk about it for days. But as you bring your sword down, you kind of keep yourself a little bit more distance, and there's a couple of things that you can do as you close in the distance to control your opponent's shinai more than if you have your shinai higher. So each of them have different advantages. One kind of like keeps you a little bit safer. I think the other one's a little bit more aggressive. And not necessarily aggressive, but also more like inviting for the opponent. So all of them have to have their own mindset. Like, but the one thing that I don't like about this kamae right now, even though it's not too high, but this is normally something that you see in beginners, that their shinai will be kind of more like here, and then the shinai is kind of pointing into the body, kind of down under the tare. This can be very problematic for a couple of reasons. This is not a bad kamae, by the way. I'm just saying that I don't like it as much to pass it down. I understand what he's doing though. Right, saying fire and water. Yeah, I guess so. Discipline. You were doing Mitori Geiko at the 2018 WKC, and you watched all the Team Korean matches and all Japan's. To me, this is a dark different, but it's like the styles are like two sides of the same coin. So what are some of the differences that you saw? That will be cool to kind of talk about and discuss. That will be awesome. Westblade, thank you very much for passing by. Good morning from Memphis. You're watching with your daughter, Abby. Thank you. Oh, Register Sensei. Okay, Register Sensei's son. That's awesome. Thank you guys for passing by. Is your primer for regular practice? Cool. So let's have good practice today. I also got practice later on today. So I'm pleased. Tell Register Sensei, thank you for everything, and to tell him to come back down here more often. So again, these kids are 12 and they're fighting amazingly. I think they have a really good power behind them. Let's see. Okay, let's go to the next fight. So this one is a little bit older. I love having people that know each other in the chat, by the way. Thank you guys for passing by. And if you can bring more of your people, that would be awesome. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this and if you find some value, take a second, hit the like button on the video. It really helps the stream and it really helps the channel. And if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe. Really appreciate it. Also, guys, if you would like to support the channel and help me out and bring in more content to you guys, you can become a member. It's only 99 cents. And you can also, please, if you don't want to become a member, check out the perks, check out all the things, and let me know if you have any suggestions on some of the things that I should do for the channel. I will really appreciate that. Now, there's a couple of things, a couple of differences that we're seeing from this kendokas, right? I'm gonna say their sutemi feels stronger. And I think a lot of it has to do with their understanding on how to use their legs. Their attacks are a little bit more planned, but still, they're very aggressive, right? Guys, you know how old they are? Democritus, thank you very much for passing by. Happy weekend.
지도자들이 보시면 이렇게 딱 겨눈 자세만 봐도 이 선수의 어떤 수련의 깊이가
Okay, this is something that I want to say. You want to make your kendo faster, you want to make your kendo stronger. It all starts with your back leg. Look at White right now and look how he moves and the back leg sharply goes into place.
지도자들이 보시면 이렇게 딱 겨눈 자세만 봐도 이 선수의 어떤 수련의 깊이가 느껴지시죠? 그렇죠.
So you see the right leg moves and then the back leg comes in quicker than the right leg moves. So a lot of times in the dojo, what I try to practice is when I do long steps, practice throwing the long step kind of slow and then bring your back foot quick. And if I'm doing short steps, same thing. I want to bring my foot step forward and my back leg quick. Ideally, you want to understand how to control the front leg. How do I say this? So the front leg will tell the timing or the speed that you will be coming to your opponent. But the back leg has to be ready and coming quick in order to do another step if you need to. So a lot of the times people tend to do the same speed for the forward leg and the back leg. But you want to set the timing with the front leg and the back leg comes in as quickly as possible. So much that sometimes when you need to attack, the back leg may not even come all the way. It might come halfway before attacking. So I think a good example of that is this. You see, the front leg goes right at one speed, and then the back leg is pushing in quick. Why? Because it wants to be ready to go forward. A lot of the times you can see this as well in the way forward, or even when they're going backwards, they pull the back leg back without even moving the forward leg because they're already trying to go forward. So I guess all I'm saying with this is experiment with different types of footwork, but always keep in mind your back foot as if you're going to take another step. Christina, thank you very much for passing by. Really appreciate you being here, and thank you for all the support for the channel. I appreciate your time. Foreplay, previous one was elementary school. Now this one is middle school. Yes, sorry, I forgot to say that. Thank you very much for reminding me that. Oh, Gas, you're a little bit behind. I'm sorry. Guys, okay, this wasn't a Tsuki, but I want to take, I guess, the moment to say about Tsuki. Or maybe, was it a Tsuki? I guess, let me see. No, it wasn't meant, right? That it got missed. Okay, so a lot of times people do Tsuki and they kind of like just let it go too much without pulling it back. You want to pull it back not only because you want to avoid harming your partner, but also because you want to be ready to do another technique in case you missed it. So you want to have a solid contact, but you don't want to overdo it to the point that if you miss, you're gonna get stuck. Because it will be easier for your opponent to kind of like, if your shiai is stuck here, it will be easier for your opponent to kind of push you down and then attack you, right? So things that you want to keep in mind. And you can see that here, it's not a Tsuki, right? But he's in the mindset of, I'm going to attack again. And this is also pretty good. Discipline, you're saying, good observation on footwork. You always treat your left leg, as if you were keeping tension like isometrics or like keeping tension on the bow string before shooting an arrow. Man, this is a good example. This is a good analogy, I think. The only thing I'm going to add to that is that for me, at least, I'm trying to make it where my leg doesn't feel tense. And it can be confusing if I say that, so hold on. I want to keep that tension, but I don't want my leg to get tired or fatigued. This is what I'm saying. So what I'm working on right now, my goal at the moment is to have that tension and that readiness on the back leg without any extra tension when I don't need it. So I just wanted to say that just because this is what I'm working on right now. Reducing that extra tension on the back leg, but having it ready at all times. So it's like, I guess like a rubber band, right? Like if I move my right leg, my back leg should come in as quick as the rubber band will snap. But okay, before I start talking too much, let's move on.
이용주 선수 내주지 않고 반격 준비하고 있습니다.
이용주 선수가 상당히 침착합니다.
네. 지금 김태인 선수가 하나 지금 도발을 많이 하고 있거든요. 네. 흔들리지 않은 이용주.
좀처럼 흔들리지 않습니다.
예. 1분 40초 정도 남은 상황.
So, discipline, and everybody, by the way. I think you can't really see it because of the logo they have on there. But right now, this is a good angle to see how Red is doing that. He's putting pressure and he's keeping that back leg tense. Now, he's making a little bit too high, but the idea is there. He has his leg trying to be there ready to move forward. Someone, so this week I posted a video on, attacking your opponent's kamae, and somebody made a comment that sometimes, this is not the comment, but I'm gonna paraphrase. There is, I guess we're gonna call it dead semi. This was the word that they used. And to me, what this means is that you feel that you're doing pressure to your opponent, but it's nothing really happening. You're just pretty much playing by yourself at that point. And a lot of times when I see that happening, or when it happens to me, I'm moving my body. I'm doing things to feel that I'm actually putting pressure, but you have to understand what your opponent, or try to understand what your opponent is feeling. So at this point right here, okay, maybe I should go back a little bit like this. You see Red is moving a lot back and forth, back and forth. I don't know why he's doing it. I'm not saying that this is why he's doing it, but I do see it a lot where people do back and forth, but it doesn't get a reaction. So be mindful of what we're gonna call dead semi. Those actions that you may be doing to get a reaction from your opponent, but it's doing nothing to your opponent. Your opponent, it doesn't register to them, or they just don't feel any pressure. And I'm not saying that this is what Red is doing right now, but it might look like this. A lot of movement, a lot of sword movement, but if you look at the video from only looking at white, it might even look like he's just in kamae there. And to me, that moment right there feels like both of them kind of like were not there. I might be wrong, but I'm just saying this is kind of what it looked like from the outside.
이제 1분 정도 남았습니다. 네.
Discipline, yes, I agree with you. I don't like that angle. This is something we see in younger Kenshi, right?
머리. 네. 피했습니다.
초등학생답지 않은 경기를 하는군요.
네.
상당히 노련하게 중심 싸움도 잘하고 있고 겨눈도 아주 좋고.
Yeah, you can barely see it right now, but he still has it very high. It's just the way how he does his kendo, I guess. Nice, guys. You want a good drill for your kendo? You want a really good drill for your kendo, and something that you can apply into competitions, as you're gonna see right now, is kotemen tatari hikimen, right? Watch. If you watch it here. So, as a drill, it's not gonna look like this, but what I'm saying, having the intention to do more than one technique will open doors for different possibilities. Don't just cut yourself at one technique. Try to understand how to do multiple techniques and make them fluid into your fight.
결승답게 두 선수가 멋진 경기력을 보여주고 있습니다. 이제 8초 남았습니다.
아주 좋은 경기를 하고 있습니다.
네. 3초, 2초, 1초. 네, 일단 여기까지
So
장으로 이어지겠습니다.
I actually haven't seen this fight. If I had to say
다른데요.
that I'm gonna say somebody has kind of like the mental advantage right now, I think Red does. So let's see how that goes.
견움도 좋고 자세도 좋습니다. 김태희
Even though White came in with a little bit more aggressive intention,
근데 이용주 선수는 침착하고 상대적으로 나오는 걸 노리고 있습니다. 나올 때 칼이
if you don't mind, okay, watch the change of timing. First, he's using his body White. He's using his body to go back and forth, kind of same timing, right? Normally, people that move a lot, they tend to stop before they attack. You want to always try to keep things as much as possible the same, and then you decide when you're going to change the timing, when you're going to go faster, and so on. But right now, then he stops completely, and then he does this, goes right forward for an attack.
상대적으로 나오는 걸
And let's be honest, it kind of shocked Red at that point. If you watch, kind of Red started reacting after White threw the technique. See, White moves to the side. White doesn't know where to go. He's trying to adjust the distance, but then Red's trying to adjust the distance, but White goes in directly for that technique. It could be a very surprising thing,
때 칼이 나가는
but now that he shot that shot, I don't think he's going to do it again, and I don't think he should do it again either, because now Red is awake.
그만큼 김태인 선수도 딱 한 번의 기회를 잘 노려야 되겠습니다.
그렇습니다.
Oh, that was close for White.
자, 막혔고 머리 흔들리지 않습니다. 한 점으로 끝나는 연장 승부. 살짝 다가가 보는 이용주.
Oh. Sorry guys, let me watch this one more second. Discipline, you're saying Kotemen Tatare Hikimen is a good strength and conditioning drill because you really have to work hard to keep momentum and speed without tiring out. Not only that, it also helps you understand how to be stable. Especially if you do Kotemen Tatare Hikimen on the same. There's two ways. I guess you can do Kotemen Tatare Hikimen. So you do Kotemen Tatare Hikimen, or you can do Kotemen, go through, and then Hikimen. So in both cases, it's a great drill to have good stability as you change directions of your body. So yeah, totally. Now I just want to watch this real quick. Watch in slow motion. Watch Red. That was such a straightforward kote, right? That it didn't make contact, but it could be tricky if you have good tenuchi. It could be tricky on getting a good impact in there. Anyways, just
들어오려고 하니까 김태인 선수
fun thing to watch real quick.
그러네요.
아주 좋은 겁니다.
칼을 들기가 더 어려워지는 거잖아요. 네. 자, 김태인.
칼을 죽이려고 할 때 그걸 뿌리치고 들으려고 하는 순간에 빈틈이 생기거든요. 네.
자, 머리.
짧았습니다.
자, 과감한 시도였습니다. 지금도 조금 짧아요. 네.
This can be also a very useful technique. Like, I'm going to say this, guys. Many times when you get score on, when people try to suppress your shinai, like Red is doing. Yeah. Many times when you are when you get score on, when your opponent tries to suppress your shiai, it's because maybe you took time or you wasted time trying to fight against the shiai. But if immediately you try to get out and then counter, or maybe you know, it can be different ways. You can go around, you can go under, whatever. But if you waste time trying to get out of this trap, this is the time that your opponent needs in order to come in and approach you with a technique. But if instead of fighting against it, instead of fighting against it, you try to regain the center by not fighting it, you're gonna have the opportunity to be in center again quicker, being safer, and also being able to do a technique against your opponent. So I think this is a good instinct to have, that his opponent tries to fight the shiai, tries to suppress the shiai, and instead of fighting against it, he decides to go in for a technique, getting rid of the obstruction of the opponent's shiai. Oh, what did I do? Okay.
과감한 시도였습니다. 지금도 조금 짧아요. 네, 머리. 네.
좋은 기량을 선보이겠습니다.
그렇습니다.
Wow. So at this point, this Kendo, at this age, or you know, it's very, very, it depends a lot on reactions. So training yourself to have a reaction to go towards your opponent rather than defending yourself can save you from getting scored and can give you the opportunity to get a technique. So again, if you guys can take a second and watch this again.
좋은 기량을 선보이겠습니다.
그렇습니다. 자, 들어갔어요.
So I don't feel that there was, let's call it semi, right? I don't feel that there was necessarily red made white make the mistake. I think he just happened to take the opportunity that was there. White came in the middle of him adjusting himself, and instead of going back to cover, he decides to come in with that technique. Sorry, hold on. This is a crazy man. This is awesome.
좋은 기량을 선보이겠습니다.
그렇습니다.
It's pretty cool again because they both come in, they open up themselves for a split second, and because Red has that intention to go hit to his opponent rather than covering, he's able to take the opportunity. He commits for a technique right here. Red is committing for a technique. He decides to he holds himself back because his opponent was raising the sword. So maybe he was coming for a man. He thought that his opponent was going to do Kaishido or something like this. So he just readjusts himself into a technique. The other thing that you guys might want to be mindful of is the use of the footwork, right? Again, as I said, he's using the right leg. He's using the right leg to come forward, but he's keeping the back leg engaged. He's not attacking. He stops himself from going with the front leg and readjusts, and this whole time with the back leg forward. I think I talked about this. Actually, I talked about this in my previous video about using half a step to kind of get the feeling of your opponent. So if you do this, if he would have done that and bring the forward, like the weight, if he would have thrown the forward leg and then bring the weight on that leg, it would have been hard for him to actually go for a technique. But because he kept the weight on the back leg, he was able to stop himself from going with the forward leg and then throw the technique. Watch. Stop. Gets the technique.
자, 들어갔어요.
좋은
This is amazing.
주 선수의 승리입니다.
This is amazing.
네, 왕은
Okay.
대동중앙 주
Um,
선수입니다.
is there any girl matches? Let's see. Galaxy, there are. Okay, let's go to those. Let's go to those right now. 143. Hold on, give me 1 second. Says like around here. Okay, should be here.
기술을 쓰는 것 같습니다.
These should be the girl matches.
작년 이 SBS 배 우승자였던
Yep.
허주연 선수 그리고 2015, 2018 SBS 배 두 번 우승을 차지했었던 허윤영 선수인데요.
네, 그렇습니다.
과연 올해 이 챔피언은 누가 될지 결승 경기 시작됐습니다.
허윤영 선수는
Oh, so quick thing. Again, this distance becomes a little bit scary, right? And there's a lot of things that could happen that would make any attempt sloppy, as we're gonna see in a second. But one thing that I feel that they're doing to compensate for being too close is that their legs a little bit wider, right? So many people feel comfortable doing this. I'm not saying that this is the best thing to do, but I'm saying this is a way to compensate for being too close, because you can also have a good enough distance to go forward to hit. The problem with this is that your opponent also has the same stance, so they can also go back fairly quick, making you miss. So this is a very dangerous place to be.
허윤영 선수는 큰 기술을 주로 구사를 하고
네.
김주현 선수는 섬세한 기술을 구사하는 것 같습니다.
Rise, yes, you're. I think I'm the same. For me, White drew my eyes in the sense that she looks bigger, but I feel Red has a better kamai, even better. What's it called? Intention. I don't know.
지금 허윤영 선수의 자세를 보면 뒤꿈치가 많이 떠 있죠.
네.
저렇게 되기 때문에 그 아킬레스 부상이 오거든요. 거기
So we're talking about the difference height of the kamai today a little bit, right? And this is a good way for a shorter person to come in closer as well, right? If you notice, okay, here, by the way, you want to avoid attacking with your arm like this. This is maybe she's trying to, suppress the shinai. You want to avoid coming in like this unless you have really good tenuchi, okay? But if you notice here, maybe even here before, hold on, let me just go back a little bit more.
뒤꿈치가 많이 떠
When they first go in here.
저렇게 되기
So, if you're gonna, she keeps coming back to this kamai. Sorry, I just read your comment, Rice, and I agree the same. I agree with you. She has a lot of the type of steps that Mariko Yamamoto has. I guess now that's not her name, right? But anyways, you know what I'm talking about. But Red keeps coming back to this kamai where her tip's a little bit higher. I think this could be useful for her in the sense that she's shorter. So by lifting the tip, she can have the shinai a little bit closer to her. So the opponent will not feel as much as a threat as she approaches to a distance that she might feel a little bit more comfortable with. Now, that being said, I'm not saying that this is what you need to do, especially if you're short or whatever, but it's a tool that you can start exploring in order to understand how can you get closer to your opponent without them feeling the threat until you want them to feel it.
그 아킬레스 부상이 오거든요. 거기 아킬레스 무리하게 힘이 많이 가기 때문에 좀 보폭을 좀 좁힐
You can use your shinai to change the distance, the pressure, the intention towards your opponent. So understanding where your shinai is in relationship to your opponent's shinai or to your opponent in general could be a good tool to explore for you to understand how to close the distance, and how to make the opponent react to your movements. Hope that makes sense.
있습니다.
Wait, what happened here?
자세에서 문제가 있어서 부상이 오는 경우가 많습니다. 요 왼발로 밀어줘야 되는데 발끝으로 서 있기 때문에 미는 힘이 약하죠.
그렇군요.
그러니까 아까도 지금 머리를 뛰어들었는데 몸이 앞으로 기울어지죠.
빨리 움직이기 위해서 좀 뒤꿈치를 드는 것 같은데
너무 들으면 안 됩니다. 받쳐주는 힘이 약하기 때문에.
Animation. I don't know if you're here, Cloudy. The animation. I don't know if you're here still, but one reason that you may be getting hit on the kote, if you watch what White does. Yes, hold on.
빨리 움직이기 위해서 좀 뒤꿈치를 드는 것 같은데
너무 들으면 안 됩니다.
Okay, so this could be one of the reasons, right? She starts moving the hands up before the legs, and if the opponent would have come with more intention forward, I feel that that would have been a good moment for red to take a point. So it's something that you want to be careful with. If you feel that you're getting hit on the kote, there can be many, many, many reasons. But if you're moving your hands before you move your legs, definitely could be one of the biggest ones. Right here, you see White brings the shiai up before the engagement of the legs. So she's kind of frozen in time. So red, if red would have had momentum forward, it would have been definitely the advantage of red to get the kote before White's shiai would have come down. Again, this is just possible scenario.
받쳐주는 힘이 약하기 때문에.
그렇군요.
홍지현 선수 계속 직도 누르고 있죠.
So this is what I mean by pushing, right? In Tayatari, Tsubaseri. You want to avoid getting into this messy situation. And right now, I feel that nobody is in a good position to attack. Both bodies are kind of like, instead of looking towards each other, they're like kind of like looking away from each other. And it will take adjustment to attack.
조심스럽게 다가가왔던
That being said, look at how they're not bringing their hands close to their chest. They're bringing it a little bit out, putting themselves in a good position to attack. Now, this is a dangerous position. Avoid this. Avoid this. This right here. You guys had this happen to you? Right? Okay. You want to know how to get away from this? Give me a second. You think you're safe here? You're far from safe here. So, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this without somebody here to shiai. Okay, let me make sure that... I don't know. This is going to look funny. Let me just change this so I can see myself. This is going to look funny, but this is not a safe position to be. If you think that you're safe going out away from Tsubaseri like this, you better be careful. It's very easy to get away from here. And let me show you how to do it. Again, this is going to look funny. Nishimura is good for that hooking of Tsubaseri. So I think Nishimura does a little bit different what I'm going to show right now. Actually, the first time I saw it, I think it was from Hoshiko. Back in the World Championships or something like that. I don't remember. But if your opponent shiai is here, people think that you have to get out here before you can come around and hit the shiai, right? But instead, what people, okay, this is a little tiny shiai, so it's hard to do with this tiny shiai. Sorry, guys, this is going to be looking very funny. Okay, maybe this will be better. So let me just put it maybe here. Guys, if you hear like a bunch of things falling, I may have to cut the stream. Anyways, so if you're here, whatever, you feel like you're safe, but one thing that you can do to get out from here is that instead of going around to hit the person, you can go under the person's shinai and push up to get off. You see, you can get under the opponent's shinai and push up to get directly into the opponent's man. So this position right here is not safe. All you need to do really is just to bring your hands under and push up to be open completely to hit the technique. So if you're in this position, avoid going back in this position. If you're in this position, I'll suggest to either go out quick or be in the lookout for you to actually take the opportunity to get the strike. Some judges may give this as a hansoku and so on. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, is this really safe for you to go out? I don't think so. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of my Kendo tip of the day. And let me put this shiai out here in a second. That being said, you have to have your feet in a good position and be ready in order to do this quickly. And I would suggest you practice this at the dojo because you can easily kind of like slap your own face as you're trying to do this. So many troubleshooting you might want to do before you actually do this in a tournament, right? But it's something that, it's a tool that you can have, and it's something that you might want to keep in mind because somebody can do that to you. Have you guys done that before? Have you guys seen that before? Let me know. Or do you do it differently? Please let me know, because that's actually very... Oh, what happened here? Oh, what happened here? Okay. Right, so saying if you're separating like that, if you're more than one breath, hikiwasa is not allowed, right? This is new rule stuff. Now, hikiwasa have to be almost immediately. You guys basically, the separation is moot, right? Guys, I'm gonna say this. There's not a defined black and white what's it called, description on that yet. If you look at I'm gonna say the same thing that actually George McCall told me. If you want to look at how the rules are being implemented, look at the All Japan tournaments and see how they implement them. Because if you look at the last All Japan, they were not so strict as they were on the first All Japan, for example. So I think they're evolving. These rules are evolving. These things are becoming a way to promote good kendo rather than just make it where, because we know this is not about preventing the spread of viruses, right? Like this I don't think like half a breath, full breath, 3 seconds right there will really make such a big difference. But ideally, I think they're going more towards finding a way to make Kenshi be more engaged in the fight rather than just be pushing and so on. So I don't know.
검도는 왼쪽이 중요합니다. 왼쪽이 축이 되거든요.
예.
왼발, 그다음에 왼손, 왼허리 이게 축이 됩니다. 그래서 왼쪽을 강하게 해야 됩니다. 지금 보면 그 허인영 선수 같은 경우는 좀 오른쪽에 많이.
So if you see, I'm looking at red right now, and Gregory, was you, right? Like who told me who my eyes were going to, and I'm looking at red right now, and I feel that based on the previous fight that we watched, Red's feet now they're not moving as sharp as the guy that I put the example of White, but still she has a lot of good balance. She had a lot of good engaged moments. You see, she moves the back foot a little bit more passive. If you are attacking, guys, you want to make sure that you keep your arms close to your body. You can see that as Red right now stretches, both of them actually are doing it. They're stretching their arms. They're taking away their explosivity at the end of the strike. So there's not much they can do after they engage their legs. So it makes it really hard to really get a technique after that.
다시 칼을 맞대고 있는 홍지연과 허윤영. 1라운드 1라운드. 1라운드 1. 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 1라운드
Rice, you're saying that you're about to say your 2 cents, or because I know the chat takes a little bit of time to come up, so I don't know if you're writing or.
허윤영 선수가 경험이 많고 노련한 선수이긴 하나 홍지현 선수가 아주 그 섬세한 기술로 지금
So both of them got a hansoku. So now we're talking about the provisional rules, right? Let's see.
허윤영 선수가 경험이 많고
And I think they're both getting the hansoku because right now they just lost the engagement. So this is what I think the new rules are trying to avoid. Right now we don't feel there's a fight, right? That tension is gone. Oh my god, sorry guys, I clicked the wrong thing. Give me a second, okay. So you see here, that intention of a fight is gone. They're just kind of walking together. And at this point, when they become disengaged, they give them the hansoku. In this, I agree.
아주 그 섬세한 기술로 지금 견제를 아주 잘하고
And to be honest, I wasn't even paying attention to that right now. So I probably right now, I don't think I was having that in my mind, in the mentality. So maybe I should put that more too, right? You see what red is doing, coming in close to and red could have definitely pulled the shiai out and even throw a technique on the way out, but she decided to just kind of walk into it. So I guess luckily they just stopped it because they may have thought it was kind of like tangle or something.
홍지현 선수는 줍도가 앞으로 톡톡 던지듯이 들어가고
네네.
허윤영 선수는 크게 들어서 치는 스타일이죠.
So I can't see it from the side, but right now it's starting to look a lot like they're about to lose the disengagement. I mean, they're about to lose the engagement.
자, 서로의 힘을 또 느껴봤습니다.
And this is what I think should have been done instead of the provisional rules, right? Instead of like making it a little bit more confusing, the shimpan taking that moment to just say wakare, I think this is a most effective way to keep the fight going.
남은 시간은 30초인데요. 지금도 빈틈이 없었습니다.
네, 빈틈이 없습니다.
Oh,
손목
I guess why walk up?
남았습니다.
One thing that you want to do in your shiai is, or you want to be mindful in your shiai, I think is your mental energy. A lot of what's happening here, like they're both kind of just bringing down the level of energy. So, and this is something that I will discuss again with my friend, the sports psychologist that we did the stream together, because this is something that will help you kind of show the judges that you are coming in for that point, and they might even keep looking at you because they're interested in the fight. At some point when this mental energy is lost, they kind of like, I'm not gonna say it becomes boring, but they probably like it becomes stagnant, and the judges kind of stop paying attention for a second.
연장으로 승부 이어집니다.
I think, I don't know.
한 점을 내는 쪽이 우승자가 됩니다.
So you see, Encho started, and it kind of became a little bit more engaging. But then once that first explosion happened, now they're kind of falling into the same pattern.
막아내고 있습니다만
허윤영 선수는 그걸
Oof.
막으려고 칼을 크게 움직이죠. 놀래게 만들려고 하는 그런 전략이 있습니다.
네.
원래 허윤영 선수는 큰 기술을 구사를 하기 때문에 크게 움직이면 상대적으로 살아야
Yeah, discipline, and that's another thing, that the random stops can mess the rhythm of the fight.
많습니다. 크게 움직이는 대신 빈틈이 많이 상대한테 노출이 되죠. 놀래지만 않으면 기회를 만들 수 있습니다.
Oh. Okay, it wasn't an Ippon, but look at, I guess we're gonna call it a feint, right? The change of timing of the shinai. Look at what White does. Throws the hands forward and then goes around to hit the kote on the other side. It's pretty cool because it kind of looks like one rhythm, then another faster rhythm, right? So it looks almost, oh sorry, it almost looks like it's two techniques, like men kote, and both of them go in. The men goes in as if it was a real technique. There's kind of a little bit of a pause in between both of them, but they're both throwing them fluidly, and I feel that pause is what makes it for red to kind of lift the sword. And of course, all brought to you by proper footwork. Watch it.
만들 수 있습니다.
So the footwork is like kote men, right? So if you watch it, look, goes in for the kote, for the men, the fake men, right? Pop, and then throws in the footwork for the kote. Very cool, very cool.
허인영 선수 들어가는 순간 놀라서 칼이 올라붙었죠.
그렇군요. 자세가 좀 흐트러졌어요.
Yeah, I feel like red is just
않고 칼이 나가면 이길 수 있습니다.
keeping the tatari.
네.
짧았어요.
득점되지 않았.
I think the camera was kind of like switching in the moment when she threw the tag. Let's see. Ah, okay, we got a good shot. That was very close. I wish we could see it completely, like all in one shot, how she approached it, but very strong intention.
득점되지 않았습니다.
네, 머리가 들어가긴 했는데 짧았습니다.
네. 자, 홍지연 선수의 날카로운 공격 시도였는데
근데 저 허윤영 선수가 그 경기 할 때마다
Guys, remember that the Discord server, you can send me out some videos if you would like me to review them, or if you would like me to use them here in the stream, whether they're your videos or maybe a video that you found on YouTube. I'll put the Discord link up in the description. And again, you can become a member and help support Kendo Tips through the link that I just sent. You just become a member for only 99 cents. It's really helpful. Let me just go forward on this video a little bit. Hold on. So we can watch the last point. So I always say it, when we come back after the Yame, you gotta be careful because you might get a different opponent out of the game. So it's very, very important that you are very aware of what's happening.
선수들이 빨리 떨어져야 되는데
네. 자. 지금 팽팽하다 보니까 고동희 싸움도 조금 길어지는데요.
네.
자. 들어가야죠. 머리.
허윤영 선수가 워낙 노련하기 때문에 홍기현 선수가 쉽게 공략을 못하죠.
그렇습니다. 자, 과연 어떻게 뚫어낼 수 있을지. 자, 칼을 계속 눌러주고 있습니다.
Really good use of the side steps from White. See, the side steps can be used to break the opponent's kind of like concentration, because everybody's expecting, or most people are expecting only to be attacked forward, right? But White is kind of using the side steps to kind of get the person to adjust and then coming in for a technique. Very valid tool to use, by the way. That very underused tool.
해줘야죠. 그 반칙을 줘야 됩니다. 반칙을 안 주기 때문에 지금 계속 붙어 있거든요. 반칙을 주게 돼 있는데 지금 심판들이 반칙을
Yeah, at this point, oh, you see, the judge was gonna stop it. Oh, we're gonna do wakare, but
오, 자,
이거 자꾸 넘어지죠 이렇게. 그래서 안 넘어지는 때가 거의 없는 것 같아요.
but at this point, red is becoming a little bit too sticky on that
네.
Suba Serie I. I think red should be careful because she can get the second hand soku and then it'll be done.
승부가 길어지고 있습니다.
이 경기도 아주 길어지고
White is becoming a little bit desperate though. What's going on? At this time, guys, when you're in Encho, like you gotta understand that it's free range, right? Like you cannot get desperate because you're not behind. You should focus on your process goals. What do you need to do to get that ippon? Rather than saying, oh, I cannot get the ippon. No, you have all the time. Now you have all the time.
자, 누가 먼저 승부를 걸어볼 수 있을지.
Wow. Oh, nobody can go out.
이제 몸이 안 나가니까 한 손으로 뻗어서 치죠.
그러네요.
네.
조금 예, 지친 기색이 있죠.
네.
자, 한번 칼을 누르면서 공격 준비하는 홍지연.
홍지연 선수는 이기든 지든 간에 지금 아주 좋은 자세를 갖추고 있습니다.
네.
압박을 하죠. 아주 발전 가능성이 높은 선수입니다.
네.
제가 볼 때는.
Now this is a lot of tension. Now here I feel like now the technique's about to come in.
제가 생각할 때는 대표 선수도 충분히 들어갈 수 있는 정도 기량인 것 같습니다.
지우수 선수 떨어집니다.
Maybe the judges don't want to give the hand soko on the final.
서두르는 사람이 집니다.
네. 허윤영이 막아냅니다.
특히 개인전 경기에서는 서두르는 사람이
Yeah, I don't understand why Red is trying to
하지 않고 있는 여자부 결승. 손목
hold on. I'm gonna take a second to answer this to discipline because I think it's very important. Discipline. You're saying are they back to where Encho is unlimited time or the covers rules where Encho is time? So for what I understand, Encho is unlimited, but they do because of the masks. They do like little breaks every so often. I don't know what the timing is. This is one of the things that I haven't read the rules. I haven't gotten any documentation to read it, and all I've got for myself is the things that my friends are telling me from Japan and the videos that the All Japan Federation has said. But apparently, Encho is not is unlimited, but it has breaks in between. But what's happening is that each country it's adopting the rules as they say fit, that they see fit, for what I understand. So I believe that they have some of those rules, some of those apply, some of them they don't. So I don't know. This is I guess how they're doing it over there.
득점으로 연결시킬 수도 있었습니다.
빈틈은 계속 보고 있습니다. 자, 지금도 네.
Yeah, she tried to do Kaeshido, and I'm gonna tell you why I think it became sloppy. The footwork. Look at the left foot. No, now. She came in a little bit too close with that back foot. I think she should have pushed with the back foot from here instead of bringing it forward to do the strike.
자, 지금도 네.
가더리 치려고 했는데 머리가 좁혀져서 못 뺐죠.
네네.
홍지연 선수는 지금 몸이 허리가 딱 들어가니까 기회를 저희 허윤영 선수가 기회를 잡을 수가 없죠.
예.
They might. Is this a break or yeah? I think they're gonna do.
진작 반칙을 줬어야
Yeah, I think the Shimpan got tired and said like, yeah, this is enough.
심판들이 다시 모였습니다.
이건 합의 안 보고 그냥 기로 표시해도 되거든요.
아, 예.
아 그런데 또 반칙 안 주네요.
They didn't give it, but maybe they discussed it like, oh, what should we do here?
머리. 네. 끝났습니다. 허윤영 선수의
노래
승리.
Okay. Wow. Okay, let's watch it for a second. Very, very quick.
머리.
I don't know what it is about this circle things that become so confusing for people. You know, I mean, like, I understand what it is, but like, they're so funny. Francisco, if you're here, thank you very much for subscribing. Okay, let me break down. Oh, sorry.
들어갔어요.
Okay, right here.
머리.
So from this moment on, I like the fact that both of them became engaged into a kamae very quick. White seems that she's going in a little bit before. I don't know if she tried to do that as a kote. Ah, she did. Yeah, because Red kind of like dodged it. But immediately went around to hit that man. This is very creative, very, very awesome. This is the type of thing, guys, that you don't have a drill for this. You don't train this. I mean, you could make a drill for this. But the reason why she's able to get these points is because the intention is on getting another technique. It's not about, I'm just going to throw one technique and then I failed. I cannot stress this enough, guys, the importance of Ren Sokuwasa. Being able to keep going for another technique. I know that when you're training, I know that when you're doing Jigeiko, it sucks because it's tiring, it's exhausting, and so on. But it's what's going to train not only your body, but also your mind to be attentive on going for another technique and actually get the ippon that you need. If it wasn't for that little extra effort that she put right there, this fight could have gone for I don't know how much longer, you know? So always when you're at the dojo, even when you do one technique, when you do, let's just say kote, just men, think about, is my footwork ready for another one, right? Can I do another one if there was an opportunity? What would need to happen? And then when you do your Sokuwasa, for example, this week, what's the past week? Yeah, last week, I was doing drills of, kote men and kote men do men, like kind of adding up more techniques because this is what's going to get the mentality of one more. Maybe today I'll do kote men tatari hikido. I mean hikimen. Oh, kote men tatari hikido as well. So there's one way to do it. Discipline. You can train for it with kotemen oikomi. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that you don't have a drill to train kote going around and hit the men, right? Like normally we do kotemen. And I agree with you. Oikomi, it's also a good way to kind of keep that mindset, and kind of create that mindset. What I'm trying to say is that we don't do drills to say, oh, let me do kote and going around for men. You could make it. You could make this drill. You can, if it's something that you really want to develop, you could make it. But the main thing is not the motion of the body, is the mentality of going for another technique. So I think oikomi is also another great way to do it. Kakarigeko, it's definitely another good way of doing it. So guys, please keep those things in mind and try to implement them into your practice. So that way you can build up a stronger kendo, not necessarily because you're physically stronger, but because you are mentally stronger. You can do techniques more accurately and solid, I guess. Let's just call them that. Okay. I think this is gonna be enough for today. I want to say that next month I am hoping to have a guest, actually two guests. I need to organize another session, another stream with my friend, the sports psychologist, Maria, the sports psychologist, and I also have another YouTuber, a Japanese YouTuber from, I think it's called, the name of the channel is Kajitani Kendo Dojo. He has a couple awesome videos that he's doing, teaching different techniques and so on. So I'm going to have him here with an interpreter, and hopefully you guys get to enjoy some questions. So if you have any questions you want me to ask for both of those streams, I will recommend to please pass by the... Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Sorry. Okay, sorry. So if you could please pass by the Discord server and send me some questions you might want you might want me to ask them. If you cannot be here, then that will be recorded, so that will be awesome. Yeah, guys. So I'm trying to bring him in. He has really good kendo. I think he's Golden as well, right? Can't remember. Yeah, I think I saw a video of him passing Golden. But regardless, so I think it will be very interesting. I kind of I ideally want to make a video in my channel, then we're gonna do another stream in his channel. So that way, we can see different aspects of each other. But the main theme that I want to do with him is a little bit of the difference in training in Japan versus the training outside of Japan, and what are some of the things that they do that maybe we can start doing, or we should start doing, to create better and stronger kendo. So that will be kind of like the general theme. I still have to plan out the questions. So if you guys have any, please send them my way. Rice. He has great technique. He has a lot of good stability, and maybe I can pass by at some point and go visit him and have my butt kicked by him. That would be awesome. But guys, thank you very much for being here. I'm gonna cut off the stream for now here, because I know some of you guys practice. I got practice, so definitely please have good practices. Keep me updated. How are your practices going? Are there any questions that you have that you want me to bring up and to talk about them? I will appreciate it. Corey, will I announce the stream when the stream is happening? Yes, if you're in the Discord, you will definitely know. Maybe what I can start doing is I should start making posts in the YouTube channel, not necessarily the video, but just put it as a post for people to kind of like get the word out. But if you have suggestions, please let me know. I'm still working on understanding all this YouTube stuff and making it a little bit more efficient for me. So I'll appreciate the help. I'll see you guys all next week. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. If you have any suggestions, please send them my way. I'll really appreciate it. Thank you everybody for being here. You guys had great practice, and have a good kendo week. Take care. Bye.